Hey Fit Fam, it's Coach Raj from Functional Flex, Team FFLEX. Thanks for being here, checking out my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe because I got great content, tons of awesome information, tons of stuff for competitors, and everyday kind of fitness stuff too. So please subscribe if you get anything out of my channel. And if you do me a favor, please share any of the videos you learn anything from. I'm not monetizing these. I make no money off of it. I just want to help more people get the right information and stuff like that. So if you get anything out of it, you learn anything you didn't know, please share it for me. Thank you. Anyway, today what I want to talk about is relating to competitors. All right, and so competition, whether you're doing men's physique, bikini, figure, whatever it is, any of the bodybuilding divisions, right? We're talking about where the stage physique is created. A lot of people mistakenly think this is in the prep, okay? A lot of competitors they assume that the prep is where they're going to get all their results. That's where they're going to be. That's where, they're going to build the most muscle. And in reality, it's just not true. Okay, the prep is obviously the important part of the process where you're going to diet down and get lean enough for the stage and perfect your posing, etc. But stage physiques are honestly made in the off season, the improvement season as I call it, because I hate the term off season. There is no off season. Point is, improvement season is when the physiques are made. That's when you're going to make your best physiques, period. Because no matter what we're talking about, any division, bikini, men's physique, bodybuilding, classic, figure, all of those, wellness coming, all those have one thing in common. We're talking about bodybuilding. We're talking about muscle. We're talking about building a foundation of muscle, okay? And so the ideal for every single one of these divisions is symmetry, proportion, shape. Okay, that's in everything. Now, obviously in bodybuilding stuff, you need size, you need to be bigger, more muscular, and leaner than you do in bikini or something like that. But the same thing, they're looking for the same thing. They want symmetry, shape, proportion, conditioning, all those things. And all that comes from having the proper foundation of muscle, right? Because here's what happens, right? A lot of competitors, I coach a lot of bikini girls, so I'll talk on that note. A lot of competitors diet down really, really hard, and they sacrifice their muscle. They sacrifice all the muscle they built in their improvement season, their off season, and it dramatically changes the way they look on stage. It kind of messes you up, honestly, because now you're really like not having the shape, the symmetry to upper to lower to actually get your placing, to actually get your physique in the right light and show off all the hard work you've done over that time. So stage physiques, they're made in the off season. Okay, they're made in the improvement season with dedicated training to attaining the right, the shape, the size, the symmetry, the proportion to then come back to the stage and be able to diet down without losing a ton of muscle. You're going to lose some either way. So if you have more than you need, you're in a good place to go in and lose something, get lean, and then win your damn competition. Stage physiques are made in the improvement season, and that's a huge thing. That's something people got to know, because I see a lot of competitors that don't do the improvement season. Like, they literally just go straight off season, right? And what I mean by that is they do their show and they're done, and then they mess off, they mess around, they eat all kinds of crap, they gain 35 pounds back, they don't train anymore, and now they've literally done a ton of damage to the physique they had built, and it's going to take a while to get it back. So they go straight from a great, prep phase into a terrible off season, and then whenever they decide to prep again, it's just a long process of trying to diet down again. But really, they didn't make any improvements to their physique, right? Like, they just kind of went off the grid and came back on, tried to compete again. And in reality, that's not the best way to do it. You, as a competitor in bodybuilding, in NPC, IFBB, all this, you should be growing in the sport. And what I mean by this is you should be able to do this for a very long time. You should be able to start when you're 19 and do it again when you're 46 years old. You know what I mean? Like, growing through that entire time, getting better, attaining a better physique, getting better conditioning, and all that comes from muscularity. Okay, that all comes down to actually, attaining the right muscles, the shape, the size, the proportion, the conditioning. All that varies per class. The size, all that varies per class. But it's the same thing. They're looking for shape, symmetry, and proportion in all these divisions, and that all comes from a solid foundation of muscle. So you have to have a solid foundation, bikini girls. You do. You have to have a solid foundation, figure girls. Yes, you do. You have to have a solid foundation, you bodybuilders, classic physiques, men's physique, all you. You need to have the solid foundation muscle. The dieting and all that comes after. That comes after you have the right amount of muscle. The whole prep kind of process, the prep to get ready for the show, comes after you have the right amount of muscle built and you're going to be able to maintain it. And so the way that you do this during a prep is also super important, because a lot of people crash diet themselves on a prep. A lot of people just drop their calories. A lot of coaches drop their calories. Like, I train a lot of bikini chicks going, going back there. A lot of bikini girls that I start coaching are eating like 650 calories, 700 calories, and I'm like, whoa, what just happened there? They're like, oh, it's what my coach told me to do to get lean for the stage. And I'm like, could there have been a bigger mistake made right here? Because honestly, that's just going to sacrifice your muscle, trash your metabolism, mess up your hormones. It's not going to give you the best physique by far. All right, so the best thing any competitor can do in any division, you should make it your goal to eat as much as you possibly can while still attaining the result you want. And so, obviously, you're going to need to be at a certain level of conditioning for each of your divisions, and you need to know what that's going to be. You need to know what the judges are going to want. Hopefully, you got a coach or somebody that can tell you. I'll tell you if you don't. Hit me in the DMs or send me a message, whatever. You need to know where you need to be. You obviously have to attain the right conditioning, but you should try to eat as much as you can, the whole prep process, to do that same thing. You should not, in other words, dramatically crash diet yourself, cut calories a ton, all that, because the side effects that are going to come with that are insane. The side effects that come with that are crazy bad. Hormone problems, metabolism problems, not bringing your best to the stage, and then you're also not going to be able to do this for a very long time. The longevity in the sport will be gone from doing things too hardcore. Sandy Williamson, head NPC IFBB judge, says herself, it's better to come in softer as a competitor than it is too hard. Because what happens if you come in too hard is you've sacrificed too much muscle. Okay, if you're softer, you got probably more muscle on you. You might be softer and you might not place the way you want, but you'll be able to take the feedback. Okay, you need to come in tighter and lean out while still maintaining your muscle and come back better and actually do better at your shows, right? And so that's huge. That's something you need to know. Better to be softer because you didn't do the crazy crash extreme stuff and then, improve upon that than it is to do the extreme stuff right away. And a lot of coaches push the extreme. I know they do, and unfortunately, not a lot we can do about that. You just got to make sure that you're being vigilant and understanding what you are doing to your body and understanding what it will do to you if you do these things. And then, hopefully, if you're having problems, you make a better decision. You make a change, move to a different coach, try a different approach, do something like that where you're not going to be putting yourself in a spot to be damaging your hormones or damaging your longevity in the sport or messing up your metabolism or anything else, okay? So that's important. Improvement season is the key. Improvement season is also where what you need to do for competitors is the reverse diet, okay? The reverse diet is huge, all right? And I'm kind of just ranting on to you guys about everything right now, but reverse diet is so underrated right now, it's insane. A lot of coaches don't do it. A lot of competitors don't do it. A lot of athletes just do the exact wrong thing, which is what I was talking about earlier, and jump straight into this kind of like mayhem where they're not eating the way they should, they're not tracking anything, they're not working out, they're not training at the same intensity, and now they've gained 30, 35 pounds in a few weeks, and that's crazy, and that's like the normal, that's insane. A reverse diet, if you don't know what it is, okay, you've dieted down to get into a show. So yes, you did have to drop your calories, you did do more cardio, you did train harder, you did all those things to get to your stage physique. Now you need to, when you're done with the competition, reverse out of that, right? You need to take what you've been doing and back your way out of it in a way that you're not gonna like blow up, gain a ton of body fat, do all that. And the reason your body will do this, ladies and gentlemen, is your body is a survival mechanism, okay? So it says, we've been doing tons of activity, tons of cardio for months, tons of weight training, and low calories. Like, we're basically in a starvation environment. Your conscious mind might know this, right? Your conscious mind says, no, we have food in the fridge, we're on meal prep, we're doing all these things, we're fine. But the primitive brain, the part of you that's like your survival mechanism, that does not understand that. That says, okay, low calories, high activity, death. Because that's the brain that still thinks we're like walking around scavenging, hunting and gatherer style. And, that would be a recipe for dying if we lived in the wild. With a lot of activity, low calories, that leads to death. So here's the thing. Your body will pack on body fat like no other whenever you let it because it thinks that it's going to need it to survive. So the way that you strategically can do this is through a reverse diet. And you back your way out of the calories that you've been doing by adding them in slowly. You need to make sure you're adding in the right macronutrients, proteins, carbs, fats, fibers. Make sure you're adding them in the correct amounts, reversing your way out of this diet in the correct caloric range, all that. And so honestly, this is best done by a coach that knows what they're talking about, that knows knows what they're doing. But the effects that you can expect are phenomenal, honestly. It changes the game for you. Like what I always say to people that I coach is this: if you do the reverse diet correctly, it'll be the difference in if you come back to the stage a little bit better next year or 10 times better. Because if you do the reverse diet correctly, you can maintain a really good body fat percentage, like not pack on 35 pounds of fat, and you can also improve your physique in the off season. The improvement season is what I call it, right? And you're going to improve your physique as you go. You can make muscle gain, stay lean, get your calories ridiculously high. I've done this with a lot of competitors and a lot of lifestyle clients at this point even, to where their calories are in the multiple thousands. I got, these girls that weigh 115 pounds eating 3,000, 3,500 calories, sometimes 4,000 calories a day, and they're still lean. They're still looking great, and they're still feeling good. Honestly, they get to the point where they're like, I don't want to eat all this food anymore, even though they have like tons of carbs, 300, 400 grams of carbs a day. All this stuff that they love, their physiques are getting better, though. That's the whole point. Their physiques are getting better. They're not starving themselves. They're feeling good. They're building muscle. They're staying lean. That's longevity. That propels you to be able to do the sport of bodybuilding for years and years to come. That propels you to be able to do this for like as long as you want. And, you can start as a teenager and be doing this late into your 50s, masters, all that. So the point is, you got to make sure that you're strategically understanding the differences of these phases of training as a competitor, okay? And that's kind of what this whole video is about. It's kind of the overview of like what you need to do. You need to understand when you're actually making the progression. The progression is not in your prep. The prep is the time where you're dieting down to get ready to reveal the work that was done in the improvement season, okay? And so that will be the difference on, your stage physique. That will be the difference on your posing. It'll be the difference on everything. In the sport of bodybuilding, they want shape and symmetry. They want to see the upper to lower be symmetrical, and that's going to be different for each division and what they're looking for and to what degree. But the point is all the same. You need to make sure that you have it dialed. You need to make sure you have it ready. You need to make sure that you're going to be in the right spot, and you do that in the improvement phase. And I see a lot of competitors jump out of a prep and not do the reverse diet. I see a lot of competitors that don't have an off-season improvement season plan at all. I see a lot of competitors that are just wasting their potential, wasting their time, and honestly wasting their hard-earned cash during their prep when they spend so much to prep for 12 weeks, but then they mess up the rest of the year, you know what I mean? The 9 months of the year, they're just kind of off the grid doing all this. And in reality, you're never bringing your best then. You're never going to be, your happiest. You're going to have to do a lot more extreme stuff. And if you do these phases correctly, you do a prep, you do a reverse diet, you do an improvement season, and you continue to train, you continue to eat right, you continue to build a lifestyle out of bodybuilding, then it enables you to compete forever. And that's kind of what the sport is about. I just did an interview with Sandy Williamson, a few weeks ago, and she was talking about that's the goal of the NPC IFBB, to have people, be an example for people. Whoa, sorry, lost you guys there for a sec. Camera died. But anyway, you're being an example, right? You're literally being an example for everybody that's watching, anyone that could ever be paying attention to what you're doing in this world that we live in now that is so unhealthy, and there's all kinds of childhood obesity and problems like that. It's crazy. So like when you do this sport, you're setting a lifestyle that sets a better example for everybody, right? You're showing people something they can look up to and something that might want to make them better. So that's important to remember. Don't be the competitor or the persons that do this sport for 12 weeks a year. Be the people that live it every 12 months of the year, and they enjoy the benefits that they can give themselves through this lifestyle and everybody else. So that's just my, kind of rant, 2 cents. I know I've been going on about everything, all kinds of different stuff for you, but I just want to really hit on that note today. Like improvement season, all these seasons, this is a lifestyle. This is not a 12-week thing. This is a 12-month thing, 12-year thing, 24-year, you know what I mean? Like it goes forever. This is what bodybuilding is. This is what it's about. So make sure that if you're involved, you're in it for the right reasons, and you're going to help, be the example, be the person that is going to help change the world. And that's the kind of goal. So thanks for watching. Please make sure you subscribe. More stuff coming. Coach Rise out.